Hello, iChurchers. It's Dan Morrell here, Media for Ministry consultant working with the iChurch team, and welcome back to another tutorial on navigating around and editing your iChurch site. We have gone through really all of the fundamentals of editing your website, and now this kind of next section of tutorials is really just looking at the additional bells and whistles that your iChurch site can offer. In the tutorials on customizing the homepage that Lawrence Moore has done, he went through editing the header. Now, you'll be familiar with the phrase header, hopefully, and similarly with footer from using Microsoft Word, and it's a very well-used phrase, and it's the same in website design. We use headers and footers. And as I say, Lawrence has gone through editing the header, but today we're going to be looking at editing the footer. Now, depending on your iChurch site, you may already have your footer set up in a particular way. You may not have a footer at all. Let's have a look on this tutorial site to see what they've got. They haven't got a footer at all, but that's okay. So if you didn't have a footer either and you wanted to create one, then this is how to do it. So we're in the back end of our site again, and we are going to go to Appearance, hover over Appearance, and click Theme Options. We're in the layout section here, and this is where we want to be. And you'll see we've got a bar here for footer. So we're going to click the arrow there to expand it, and you'll see it's asking us to set up some columns, but they're hidden. So we don't have a footer, and that was correct. That's what we saw on the front end. You don't need to change this footer copyright text here. This will update automatically, and please keep this as it is. But if you want to add in other things to your footer, bearing in mind that the footer is consistent across each one of your pages, so it will display on every page. So it might be a useful place to put your location perhaps, or some contact information. So let's say we wanted to add in some contact information to our footer. We can set up as many columns as we like. I usually like to set up either 2 or 3 columns, usually 3 because it just displays information in a smaller chunk rather than being too wide. We're going to leave it as a 12-column grid, but you'll see here we can edit the proportions of the footers, maybe depending on what kind of content we're going to put in it. So let's have a look at footer column 1. So if I was to just save these options, which I can do it straight away by clicking Save Options here, and again looking at the front end using that 2-tab editing to see what it looks like, here is one of our columns. This is the About Us, in this case, column. And you'll see we've got that here. So we can change this. You'll see we've got a similar thing vaguely resembling the classic editor here. So we can edit this information. And of course, I'm not really going to go through the details of editing that information, but you can add pictures as well. You'll see these things here with the percentage signs next to them. These are icons. You can see them here. And we'll be going through creating and using icons in a later session. If we wanted to put something in the other columns, the other 2 columns, we've got number 2 and number 3 here, then we simply select content type and click custom content. And here is our custom content. So we could put in, if we wanted to use a predetermined heading size, then we could go contact us perhaps, and then the minister is Reverend somebody, and their phone number is 123456. Of course, we add some of that information here as well, but that, as I say, this is just an example of editing the footer. And again, with column 3, we can go to custom content and put something in. We also have the floating widget areas, which is another option, and we may decide to make a tutorial on it at a later date on using floating widget areas. But at this stage, we're looking at the very basics of editing your footer just using simple text and images. And again, usual iChurch ways of going about things. Make sure you click Save Options to save them. And then refreshing our page and we'll see the effect of that. So here we go, here's the contact us part of the footer. Just to prove my point about footers being consistent across all sites, I'm going to click the history page, and here's our footer again. So that is editing the footer. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, queries or concerns, then please get in touch with the iChurch team, ichurch@urc.org.uk, and stay tuned for more tutorials. Bye bye.